I would like to apologize for my extended absence. I've been kind of busy. The weather's getting nice, so I've been doing a whole lot of DIY around the house, namely doing these hardwood floors. Outside of that, I got a promotion at work, so my 2-week training has been during quote-unquote normal business hours, so my schedule's all messed up. All in all, that's left me about 20-30 minutes a night just to try to get some work done on the models. So let's get back to the models. When I'm doing my decals, I like to apply them very, very wet. If I could figure it out, I would like to apply them underwater. They're just easier to move around. You don't have a dry spot grabbing onto your decal and you trying to move it so it just rips and tears. Like a select few other things in life, the wetter the better. And sometimes they still just want to fight you. So I'm gonna go off camera here. I'm gonna run a Q-tip over this, use a bit of a hair dryer. When I come back, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm not really too worried about the A-pillar here because I've decided to glue in the doors on this. And looking at the bottom, I got just enough overlap to create a nice shell, so to speak, to keep that decal locked on tight. And until that decal is fully dry, it's gonna look scaly like that, but don't worry, it's all gonna lay out smooth. So what I'm doing now is just eyeballing this up as kind of a sanity check. I just want to make sure everything is centered, everything is covered, and I didn't miss any air bubbles or gaps or anything like that. Now I was very happy with the way this laid out, so I'm just gonna flip it over and use it as a template for the other side. Only difference is that I cut it out from the different angle. See how the pattern is going down and to the left? On the piece I've already got down, the pattern is going down and to the right. That's going to give us that opposing carbon pattern that everybody seems to love. And I really hope you guys do love it because it is a pain in the ass. Now even though I used a ruler and made sure that this was as straight as possible, that seam did not meet up perfectly. There's still just a very tiny tad bit of overlap, but we could live with that. But from here on out, I'm just going to be applying little pieces of decal here and there. I'm not going to waste a lot of time watching me smooth it out. And I'm really not lying. Each decal maybe took 10, 15, 30 minutes just to lay out and make sure it was smooth and located properly. And I'm kind of clumsy. You guys should know that by now. And I know I said I wouldn't be doing this, so let's jump ahead here real quick. Now off camera I made a few precision cuts just to get this exactly where we want it to be and follow all those body lines. Now that is both of these things done. Now this little center section right in there, I'm not too worried about. A little bit of overhang is okay. So once we install this outer piece to the door, it's going to cover it all up just fine. I don't know if you guys can hear that cricket. I don't know where he is, so I can't murder him. So we just got to deal with him. I'm sorry. Now this piece here, it actually gets installed on top of the lower piece. I just forgot about that. And this is the only footage I have of me applying it. So the way I have my seams lining up is this lower bumper piece goes on first, and then the upper taillight piece. Remember how I was saying these things just do not want to cooperate sometimes. I don't know why I made this segment so long. Sorry to bore you. Now there is some overlap below on the bottom. That's fine because the license plate bracket will cover that up completely. If you guys remember, I had mentioned that I had been sitting on this kit for a long time just trying to track down the Plamos detail kit. Now that set includes a resin bonnet cover, and since I couldn't find it, I'm just going to make do with what I have. Now while I was cutting out the vents, I had slipped a little bit, so I'm going to use some super glue to fill in that horrific scratch. It's also a great little test to show you just how bad CA glue will fog up a clear part. Alright, so with my boo-boo all patched up, I'm going to move on to cleaning up all of the inside cuts with a half-round needle file. Now, this is a clear piece, which means it's very brittle. It does not have that rubberizing agent in it that regular body pieces do. So I am being very cautious filing and sanding here. So it may look like I am not doing a whole lot here, but I am just being very gentle. I'm not really sure why, but I painted this. Now this is the same paint that I use whenever I do the window trim around windshields. So I just that one spot was shiny. It's very odd. Now real quick, I'm gonna make some mesh templates. And if you look real close, there is kind of a hump in there. So I gotta hold on to this little cutoff so I can conform that later. So I'll just throw it in a pile there. Hopefully I could find it later. Wow, those do not match at all. That's okay. I'm gonna cut them a bit oversized anyway, just because I need a little bit of an edge for the glue to bite onto to hold them in place. So on to the decals for this thing. Now to make sure that vent opening goes as smoothly as possible, I'm going to make a few little relief cuts here and there. Now once I'm convinced it's going to actually cut and not just tear, I'm going to do a nice clean incision all the way down the center. Now the bristles of the brush are going to do all the work here. I'm just going to go around the edges and gently press everything into place. Sometimes I realize how much easier this would be if I had an extra hand, maybe two. Now the wing I made, it's gonna get the carbon fiber treatment too. Why not? Now on to the few kit decals that we are actually going to use. Now, if you remember in part 2, I had a giant sheet of decals with all my templates on it. This is all that's left. This is about half of those templates. Now there's not enough room for all of them, but as most of them were just mirrored duplicates, use your imagination. Now all that hard work is finally paid off. Alright, we are finally ready for some clear. Or so I thought. And I did edit out the sound on these just so you guys could have a rough idea of exactly what's going on. My airbrush is broke. I'm gonna tear that one apart, see if I can get this one to work. So I can get air to come out of the bottom, but if I plug the hole, barely any air comes out of the tip. I thought maybe it was just all plugged up in there, so I rummaged around in there with the drill bit. Some of the wire brushes there in the background. Nothing really seemed to work. I got it cleared up a little bit. Now what's really going on here is the air is back flowing and it's coming out up there by the trigger. It's making my finger all cold. I think we may have got it. But if I close down this valve and just completely shut off all the air, it still blows air. Oh well, it's working. So let's get some clear on this thing. Now it's been a while since you guys seen me mix up paint, so for all the newcomers, with my clear, I like to mix it at a 3:1:1 ratio. That's 3 parts clear to 1 part hardener and 1 part thinner. Now I have a 5 milliliter, oh yeah, somebody corrected me. I have a 5 cc cup on my airbrush. Now I'm not good at math, but that all comes out perfect for me. 3 plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. So it's easy enough to get my measurements accurate. And yeah, I'm not wearing pants. I don't have one of them fancy battery operated mixers like some of these other YouTubers, but I got a pipette. That seems to work just fine. So As usual, I'm going to start off by doing a very light mist coat on anything with the decal on it. If we go heavy just right off the bat, this 2K clear is very chemically hot and it will melt and burn right through your decals. Now even the parts without a decal are going to get that same mist coat just to keep all of our layers the same thickness and consistent. Now in the video here, I could see it clearly, but at the time, I didn't realize what was going on. You know what? I still don't know what was going on. But if you watch a stream of clear coming out of the airbrush, you'll notice it's getting progressively thinner and just weak. Now eventually it just started to sputter and just shot spats of clear out randomly. You guys ever MIG weld and you just get spatter everywhere? That's what the clear looked like. So I just should have done this right from the start. I dusted off old Betsy and laid down some clear. Look how strong that stream of clear coming out of there is. This old airbrush is a workhorse and it has never failed me. I'm currently on coat 5. Yes, coat 5. I'm gonna build it up rather thick just so I have enough to sand and polish back. Now I really couldn't help myself, but I just wanted to spin this around to see what the light does to that color. This volcano orange has a whole lot going on with it. So, yeah, I don't know when the next video is going to be out. We're going to be renovating one of the bathrooms next. Then I'm going to start on the basement, finally get my bar built. I'll find time to get out here though, guys, I promise you.